Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is CeeCeeG. I just wanted to do a garden update video because down here it's been getting extremely hot again. So I have been kind of just watching how much time I'm spending outside. So I usually just do it late in the evening and tend to the garden. So I'm out here early enough before it gets boiling hot out here. So here is the pepper plant bed. This is the bed where we have the butternut squash. So I'm just going to show you the peppers are really growing tall. That you see the effects of the rain that we had a couple days back. And then something I planted in here, but because it's so bushy and crowded in here, I have to identify what this is. And since I don't have my gloves on, I'm not putting my hands in there. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like over here. And I had the black cherry tomatoes in this bed, and we got a couple of them off of there. But like I told you before, you know, these worms and bugs and moths and things that love to eat these things have been eating them. And so I would put some type of repellent on here, but it's going to be raining another couple days, so it's like it'll be pointless at this point. But just to show you what's going on in here, you can see the butternut squash in there. It's a couple of them. I did pull one off because it was ready to come out, but some of them have not turned brown at the stem, so I don't want to remove it too soon. So it looks like a jungle in here, but you know, we tend to it the best that we can because we're both physically challenged. So we have been doing a lot of work. That's why I wanted to come out here and show you what has been done. Okay, and this is the bed with the collard greens and lacinato kale, also known as dinosaur kale. We have harvested a couple of times off these plants, but they still grow hardy, and I'm going to continue to keep them and grow them. So I'm going to just get a little closer so that you can see how everything is growing. Now, collard greens come back pretty fast, but you can tell by looking at the leaves, the bite marks in the leaves and things. You can tell these bugs are like, they just love to eat it. And you can see it like it has bullet holes in those leaves. So they're populating, they're growing. And then I did have some seeds that fell. I had that had bolted probably around the springtime, and a lot of those seeds fell in here. And I do notice that there were some lacinato that was coming up, so hey, more the merrier. But you can look at this. It looks terrible how they're jumping on here. I was thinking about using some of that 7 powder to put on the leaves, but looking at the forecast for the next week and a half, we're going to be getting quite a bit of rain, so we'll just see what happens. And this is another bed. I have some herbs in here, some rosemary and dill. As you can see, it looks like it needs to be cut. Again, of course, it's always our friendly weeds. They're not really that friendly, but we've been weeding as well, trying to keep that down. Here I have a little bit of kale here. And this was a tomato plant that we had in one of the bed, not the beds, but one of the totes. And we're in the midst of getting rid of all these totes, because what I'm finding out is that, yes, you can use them to grow, but when it's the dead of summer and that heat is raging, it really depletes these containers. They get brittle, they break, and it's just a nuisance. So plus, I don't like that the weeds and the grass grow up in between them. It just looks so junky and a mess. So we're going to be getting rid of those. We're working on them. And of course, this is the Swiss chard. As you can see, it's bombarded by grass or weeds in here. So we have quite a work to do here. And the Swiss chard has really like grown because it's like moving a little bit, and it's having sprouts of different sections of Swiss chard. So I can see that you can get more harvest from these as they grow. And here you can see some of the peppers. Ooh wee! I gotta grab these before I go in the house today. So I'll grab those if you can see them, because I'm gonna get them before the bugs get them, because you know how it is with them. And so they're growing great, fantastic. So I'm just showing you, you know, what's going on. I try to keep it real with y'all. What's going on in the garden. And this is the onion bed. Now you see how this looks? It looks terrible. And so we're gonna have to like do some more weeding in here. Now mind you, the year before, I remembered my mom had planted some peppermint herb. And when I was pulling up the herbs in here the other day, and I still have some more that I need to do, I could smell the strong scent of peppermint. So I didn't throw those away. I just gathered those and I washed them and dehydrated them. We didn't like grind up the leaves or anything, because I want to be able to make, you know, tinctures or whatever. And tea is great for tea. And let me tell you, peppermint and thyme together in some boiling water, if you ever have any type of congestion, get yourself some of that, boil some water and put some thyme and peppermint. It will open you wide up. It will have that mucus. Excuse me, Duke is in the background, so just don't mind him. He just startled me. But anyway, you can take that peppermint and that thyme and just sit underneath that and breathe that in, and it will loosen up that congestion all up in your head and your sinuses, and it works wonders. Okay, so this is another bed full of bell peppers that we've been growing. And the bell peppers, like, we get some good, but like you can't even grow them like really large because these bugs are tearing them up. They love to eat it. And so we try to get it to like, it's like medium size, and then sometimes it might be a nick in them, and I just had to cut it off and wash it off. We use baking soda and vinegar to wash all our produce and things, and even with meat, when I'm cooking for my husband, I use vinegar to wash the chicken and things like that. So make sure that you're cleaning. Don't just rinse them with water. Water is not getting it. You have to clean your stuff, because you don't know like what they're putting on it. Even though we're growing this stuff, we wash it as though we bought it from the grocery store. I'm not playing, because you don't know what they're spraying in the air. So you want to be careful with what you're ingesting into your body. One thing I'm taking into precaution with myself this year is I'm taking care of my health, because it's up to me to eat a healthy lifestyle so that I can be in great health. And I'm working on that, and I'm really making really good strides. So I would admonish you to do the same. So here is some more Swiss chard over here. So Swiss chard, it's really like a cool type, like up to like, I can grow this during the winter and fall, but like summer months, it kind of stunts the growth, because it can stand it, but it really produced like around, I'm gonna say around March, April, May. It was just growing like crazy. But then when it gets so hot, it's just like, it just stays like this, which I've noticed since, you know, we had started our growing season. And here is another part of that one tomato plant that my husband and I had took out of the tote just to give it some more room to grow. And so we kind of broke it up, because it was like 3 plants in one tote. And you know how tomatoes do. It grows like crazy and those roots are like really growing. So it was a challenge trying to take them out because like you had the dirt in there and it's like the whole dirt is coming up with the plant. So I had to break the soil and with the roots because the roots just grew all through it. And that's what makes it hard to break it apart is the roots. So just showing some more of our pepper plants out here. We had plenty of pepper plants, but I feel like we should have yielded more than what we should have, what we have. Okay, in this bed, we have some, now I think this is the bed that we had our spaghetti squash in. It didn't do too well. They just stayed very small, maybe no more than 3 to 4 inches in length and maybe about 3 inches in width, and it just didn't take. And so I took all of these things out, and so we moved these herbs. This is angelica and mugwort herb that my husband had transplanted into this bed to give it more space to grow, and so it can expand and grow, so I can get many uses out of this. Okay, so this one is the bed that had that overflowing of watermelon, and we did harvest a couple watermelons in here, and these were the personal size watermelons. Now I had some seeds in that they weren't like ones that you get from the store, but they were something that we had purchased and we just saved the seeds, and then I thought that they would be larger, but they're actually the smaller ones, which really kind of works out okay because like I can kill one by itself to be honest, because I love watermelon. I love melons, period. So, yeah, so we were noticing maybe 2 of them that cracked. So we said, well, maybe it's done. So we have these little plate things that they rest on so they don't touch right up against the soil. And so, yeah, so we looked at the underside of the watermelon and we noticed that it had turned yellow, started turning yellow on the belly side. So we just started cutting them off the vine and, bringing them into the house. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to get another harvest out of this. I'm just going to probably just watch it and see. There is one in here somewhere. It's just kind of hard to see, but I'll just take the phone over so that you can see and look inside. And this is the bed that we had the yellow squash in. We had the grape tomatoes in here, leeks and all. And because of the tomato plant, it just towered over top the leeks. So we had to get rid of everything. It was just dying and a lot of tomatoes were getting eaten into. So we just took it down. We did get a great amount of tomatoes harvested this year, but I think we could have got more if it wasn't so many, bugs chewing, and you know how animals do and critters, they like to eat up everything you have in sight. So we also put in, I had some red onion that was in like some containers as well. I don't know if you can make it out. It's right there, one here, one here. So we split those apart and we planted those. This is the eggplant that we harvested recently. Not sure if anything else is going to happen, but it looks like it's dying. So just wanted to give it another chance. But if it continues to look like this will get yanked as well. And I also had some celery as well that we planted in a container, and I broke it up and we stuck it inside the bed to grow, because we do juice a lot. I've pretty much given up on candy and junk food, and I've been trying to take care of my health better, and I really feel a lot better. I'm getting a little bit more energy than I've had in the past, so it does make a difference to take care of your health. Now this one is moringa that we put in this one thing here because we want a lot of that. Moringa has a lot of health benefits, and I want to keep it because I also want to cook with it. You can cook it, you can make, you know, tinctures and things. You can make tea out of it. It has many, many, many health benefits that are great for your body. Okay, and these are the beets. We have plenty of beets growing, and these aren't ready quite yet. It probably won't be until about around the fall. So, and we juice a lot of beets. Like right now, we're just buying them organic at the grocery store or at like a farm or somewhere local that we go to most of the time. But I also love the beet greens. Beet greens with the stem. Eat the whole daggone beet. It's good. But no matter how you prepare it, but it's very delicious and nutritious. And since I'm on blood thinners, this would really be beneficial for me. And this is our Brussels sprout plant. This probably won't be harvested to sometime in the fall, winter. And I think there's some type of melon plant in the rear of this thing. It's just covered up and I can't see the tag underneath of here. But we're just still doing work. I mean, doing gardening is a 24/7 job. It doesn't stop. So, you know, do the best you can. If you can't get to it, just do the best you can. Don't overwork yourself. And this here is our scarlet sage herb. And you can see it's starting to flower, which is really pretty. And I have done some, so far we've, you know, just dehydrated some of the sage, and I also did infuse sage with olive oil and things. And so I'm going to have like maybe put a notebook together with everything we have back here, what it's used for, all the uses, so we can keep tabs of what we have. But make sure you guys, if you can, and try to figure out a way how to garden. I don't care how much space you have, try something, because I believe things are going to get worse and you need to be prepared. You don't have to walk in fear, but be prepared, and make sure you have what you need. And not just with gardening, just everything. First, make sure you're prepared spiritually, number one. Number two, you need to make sure that you have some things in your home that should anything go down, make sure you have some preparations in your house so that you can help yourself and your family. Now, looking at this is another eggplant plant. It's a green eggplant, and I'm not sure if you guys can see, but it's so covered with these leaves, and I don't have my gloves on, but it's really growing really tall. And we have some more beets inside of this one. Maybe if I come to the back side of it, you could see something. I don't know, you might be able to see, but that's that. Okay, so here is some cups that we starting for the fall, all the fall and winter crop. I want to get a head start on it, and as you can see, they're growing, which is a great thing. So once they fully, get to a certain maturity, we're going to transplant them into the bed so we can have a great harvest during the fall and winter. Okay guys, so all of this is all the container gardening. All of this will be gone. I cannot stand to look at this anymore. The grass is growing up in there and it's a whole complete mess, and we're not with that. So all of this will be gone. We may put some of the bigger circles here instead and just let it be that, because I don't like it to look like a junkyard back here. And so we're going to get rid of all of this.